What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. I'm Brett Carnright, Major League Fishing Invitationals Pro. Today, I've got a box in the mail from none other than Beast Coast Fishing. So I'm going to do a little unboxing, talk about some of the baits I got in here. And I'm getting ready to head to the first term of the year on Sam Rayburn. So this box here should have a lot of goodies that I can use down for the first event of the year, hopefully. We've also got my girlfriend Naomi behind the camera.
Hello.
She's very scared. With any order from Beast Coast, they give you a few stickers. So in here I got a couple stickers and I got my receipt for what I've got. So this order I got some of the Blade Runners. I got a few half-ounce little Magnums. What else we get? A few different colors of that. A few 3/4 ounce little Magnums. I got some of the Baby Dozers and let's see, I got some of the Snipers, OW Sniper jigs. I got some of the swim jigs, the Gorilla swim jig, as well as the Battle Flip. Oh, I guess we'll start with some of the apparel. Naomi's favorite things. So they got me 2 hats here. One's camo, the other one the signature black and gray. We got a few shirts. What do you think?
Wow.
This one's a medium. We'll go through all the different shirts we got here. Oh, I got some sweatshirts too. Alright, so we'll continue with the shirts. I didn't realize I had a little zipper in it. We got a white one. Same as the that blue one we just opened up. Let's see what size. Medium again. And we got a black one. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
They don't have one like this, do we?
No.
Let's see what size this one is. This one's a large. So my man Derek down at Beast Coast, he's really hooking me up here with some swag. This is a large sweatshirt. What do you think?
Nice.
With the big Beast Coast logo on the front. And then we got a medium of the sweatshirt as well. Cool. Okay, so for tackle, you can see how much I got here. Derek really hooked me up. Anyway, we'll start out. I got pretty much like one of everything that I got laid out here now. Just be a little bit easier to go through. So the first thing is the Blade Runner chatterbait trailer or bladed jig trailer. I got 3 colors. Pro Pearl, I use on anything like an alewife or a white chatterbait. Green Pumpkin, just on a green pumpkin one, and then black and blue. So those are like my 3 main colors I'll throw. I got like 5 or so packs of each one to just restock. The Lil Magnum, I got 2 different colors in the half ounce. This jig's really impressive. I hadn't really used it up until about a year or two ago, and everything about it is pretty legit. So this color here is, I think I know this by heart, it's Dirtbag. It's my favorite color that they make. It's a basically a burnt brown with black. The other color I got is Stealth Green Pumpkin. I believe this is a newer color he just came out with. So this one's more like a green pumpkin with black versus like a burnt orange brown color with black. Both great colors. Everything about pretty much Beast Coast jigs in general is very high quality. There's hardly anywhere on the jig that I can point out that there's like a weak spot. So it's 97% tungsten in the head. They got a great weed guard. I never even trim it. I just leave it how it is out of the box. The skirts are fantastic. They use the same hook keeper or bait keeper, trailer bait keeper that the jackhammer uses with the double wire. It's pretty decent. And then they wire tie and then they put a band over to keep the skirt in place. So the wire tie just holds it better than a band would. You're going to have a perfectly even, skirt flare around the whole jig. You're not going to have it balled up anywhere. And the reason he puts a rubber band over it is because when you're fishing it around rock, the rock can actually break the wire if you were to get it snagged or anything. So he puts that piece of rubber band over it just to protect the wire from getting damaged. So 1/2 ounce, little Magnum. The way this jig comes through grass is like no other jig I've ever fished. You can see how there's no, this is how everybody does it, right? They put their hand up. There's no tungsten down on the hook shank, so you get a really fast, straight vertical fall. Most other jigs on the market, you're going to flip in grass. They're always going to pendulum through the water. This acts very similar to like a Texas rig going in and out of grass, which is pretty unique for the jig. It's got a great hook in it, 4/0 BKK. They're pretty solid. I've set the hook on a few pike, and I think I actually caught a couple catfish on this thing as well in the Potomac, and I haven't bent it out yet. So they've really got this hook dialed in on the bait, everything about the bait dialed in. Next up, I've got the 3/4 ounce Lil Magnum, 3/4 ounce version. It's relatively new this year. I got the colors Dirtbag and Magnum Stealth Cross. So once again, Dirtbag, just my favorite color that they make. And also I love the packaging that they come in. I'll show you here in a second why, but this is the Magnum Stealth Craw color. The attention to detail and all the colors that he does, that he comes up with, and everything's just so realistic looking. And anyway, my jig box. So this is how I store my jigs. I just keep them in a regular Plano. And what I like about the packaging is I can leave. I like to keep them in the original packaging inside the box just to keep them extra watertight. So for a guy like me, I'm out in very bad weather fishing all the time. These boxes typically do a pretty good job, but there's always like one day a year where water will end up getting in the boat somehow. And keeping them in the original packaging just protects the jigs, from having a full, like a completely ruined box here of jigs. So I actually used to keep my jigs in these little bags like this I'd buy off Amazon. And since Beast Coast has changed, this is their original packaging they used to use, so not as ideal. And Derek actually switched over to these bags, and I was like, man, you got to stick with those bags, because storing your jigs like in one of these deep 3600, 3700s, it's perfect with the original packaging. It keeps everything protected, keeps your hooks from, rubbing up on other jig heads and dulling them out, while they're in the boat throughout the year. So anyway, this is how I keep all my jigs, and the packaging that they use now just makes it that much more ideal. So next up, we've got the Baby Dozer. I got two different colors in the 7/16 size. I've got dark green pumpkin and stealth pumpkin. These colors are honestly really similar. This one's just a little bit, lighter green here compared to this one. So the Baby Dozer, it's a one-of-a-kind jig. It's just a football head, right? But they have these little dimples on it. So whenever it's actually you're dragging it on the bottom, it actually makes more of a disturbance kicking up the bottom, and it helps it actually kick up as you're dragging it, just the way the eye tie is. And so anyway, it's a jig I don't have a ton of experience with that Beast Coast makes, but I figured I'd give it a go. All of his football head jigs come with one of these two models, I guess, of hook keeper or hook guards to protect the hook whenever you are storing them in the boat. I also got some of the 5/8 ounce ones, which are just a tad bigger. So we got 5/8 ounce in dark green pumpkin and dirtbag. Okay, here's those two colors. So dirtbag here. What was this one? Stealth.
Dark green pumpkin.
Dark green pumpkin?
Yeah.
So this one's dirtbag here. This one's dark green pumpkin. Both great colors. Really natural. That's kind of what I go for with a football jig, is I want it to be natural, blend in with the bottom, rock, sand. Next up, we've got the money maker for me. So this jig in particular, I've made, honestly, I think over $40,000 since it was released like 3 years ago. I got my hands on it before it really started taking off and getting popular back in 2021. And I think the first tournament I fished with it, I won an ABA with it and cashed a check in a Bassmaster Open. And then this year, in 2023, I had a 5th place finish in the St. Lawrence River Toyota Series solely off this jig. And it actually somewhat got me to the BFL All-American off this jig as well. So this sniper jig, it was designed by Beast Coast with Travis Manson, smallmouth crush. This one in particular, a 1/4 ounce size. I typically throw the 1/4 ounce in less than 10 foot of water, and the 3/8 ounce size I use up to about 30 to 40 foot, and then anything deeper than 40 I'll go with the 1/2 ounce size. This color here is called Sexy Melon. You can see this jig compared to like a normal sized their Baby Dozer football jig. There's a lot less skirt material in these. If you get the MB, which is the Magic Bug colors, there's a handful of colors that have these thin skirts. The rest of them have like a full skirt on them. So anyway, this is a tungsten compound jig. They also offer a lead version as well, which is a little bit cheaper. It's got a 2/0 BKK hook. I believe every jig that Beast Coast is making now is going to be coming with BKK, or at least it probably will be in the future. And it's got an odd keeper here for your trailer, but it works really well. One of my favorite trailers to use is the Maxent Little General. I'll throw a zoom speed car on the back of it as well. But anyway, great jig. Next up, we've got the Gorilla Swim jig. This is a color called Dirty Money. This jig just came out this past summer, 2023, and I've had a lot of experience with it so far. I really put it to the test. It's got a great hook. It's got the same hook that's in the Little Magnum jig, which is a 4/0 BKK. Everything about this jig is perfect in my opinion. It goes through grass great. I've mainly been just throwing the white and black and blue, but I got this color, which is more of like a bluegill imitator. I just picked that up. But hats off to Beast Coast designing this jig. This is the Battle Flip jig in the color Pro Pumpkin. So I actually have not used this jig yet. I just purchased it for the first time here. It's got a unique weed guard on it. It's an extra wide, I believe they call it double wide weed guard. As far as I know, Beast Coast is the only jig company that has it. It's got a different style head on it than, say, the Little Magnum. It's supposed to slide in and out of brush really well. I don't know, I can't really, just first looks at it, it's got like a pretty good keeper here for your trailer. It's wire tied and banded just like any other jig. And yeah, it looks like a good jig, so we'll see how it goes. So just end it like this and go.
Catch you later. Get it? Because catch you later.
Yeah.